Good morning and welcome back to another episode of Business Beyond the Beach in partnership with our friends here at Miami Community Newspapers. My name is Brittnie Bassant. I'm the president and CEO of the Miami Beach Chamber of Commerce, and we would like to thank our coffee sponsor for today's series, Maman. They have locations all across the county, but our favorite location is their Sunset Harbor location in South Beach. And today I have with me one of my favorite guests. It's our Miami Beach Police Chief, Chief Wayne Jones. Thank you so much for joining us.
Of course. Good morning. Thank you for inviting me.
I'm so happy to have you here. I'm so thrilled to have you here. So we have a really unique history because 2 years ago, when I took over the role as president and CEO of the Miami Beach Chamber of Commerce, you were taking over the role as police chief. And so I've had the pleasure of working with you side by side for 2 years. You serve on the board. But I cannot believe, as I'm sure you have the same feeling, that it's been 2 years in this role and in this position. So tell me about that. Tell me what it means, like, for the past 2 years being police chief in Miami Beach, in the city of Miami Beach.
Yeah, it's been a roller coaster. Actually, it's been fun. It's been exciting. I could not imagine being a police chief anyplace else, other than the fantastic, surreal sometimes city of Miami Beach. A lot of work has been done in just 2 years, but a lot more work to be done.
Tell me about some of the initiatives that you've spearheaded in the past 2 years, maybe the one that you're most proud of, or what we can look forward to in the future. I know you've got some great ones. So talk to me a little bit about that.
A lot of things I've done I'm proud of. I think the most public-facing thing I'm most proud of is the opening of our Real-Time Intelligence Center, or RTIC.
Okay.
Right? Where we've really leveraged technology to do policing smarter, more efficiently, keeping both my police officers safer, keeping our residents safer, keeping our visitors to our city much more safer, in my opinion, safer than ever before.
That's absolutely incredible, and I'm sure you can share like numbers and statistics and all of that data. But we've heard multiple times that Miami Beach is very, very safe, and it's a safe place to be, and that is a credit to you and your force. But let's take it all the way back to the beginning. So past 2 years as police chief, but a storied history in law enforcement. And right at the very beginning, what inspired you to pursue a career in law enforcement?
Truth is, I fell into police work.
Okay. Tell me, how'd you fall into it?
Well,
there's so many different ways that could have happened.
This is a true story.
Okay.
I actually studied aviation in school. I got a pilot's license and thought I'd be an aviator for the rest of my life. I had a fraternity brother that always wanted to become a cop. That was his dream job, become a police officer. And at the time, I went to the Miami Beach Police Department to support him because he wanted to apply. And he asked me, "Hey, can you go with me to apply?"
You just wait. I'm sorry. You just went with him to like a job interview or like an application?
Application process.
That was it?
That was it.
At the Miami Beach Police Department?
At the Miami Beach Police Department.
Okay, continue.
Long story short, I was hired. He was not. Yeah.
No.
Life happens that way. Very random,
no.
right? Very random. So I was hired. He was not. He became a school teacher. History teacher, to be precise, and he's still teaching high school to this day. I am still a police officer to this day. We both sort of found our way, found our dream occupation, him a teacher, me a police officer. The rest is history.
Wow. And an incredible history, an incredible career that you've had. And so talk to me as you've moved up through the department and through the force, and you've held obviously a number of different positions and different ranks and different titles, and some of the lessons that you learned as you like made your way through the force and now ultimately becoming chief, and what those lessons have been and how you then use that as a leader.
Yeah. So I initially I had an interest in becoming a supervisor.
I've heard.
A boss, a chief.
I've heard. A lot of people have told me that. They're like, we always wanted to promote him and he never wanted to take it.
Said no a number of times, actually. Because I really enjoyed being a police officer, street cop, meeting people every day, making a difference in lives every day, putting smiles on the faces of young children and putting bad guys and bad girls in jail when they needed to go to jail and solving problems. I really, really enjoyed doing that. And then after I started getting promoted, and moving up the ranks of the police department, there are a few things I found that were important in terms of how I treated the people I manage. The folks doing the heavy lifting every day, keeping our city safe. Treating people with respect, dignity, making everybody feel as if they mattered. that, quite frankly, we couldn't be successful as an organization without their support and input and expertise. Treating people fairly, even when they had to be disciplined or corrective action had to be taken, making sure it's done in a way that was at scale for the infraction that was being committed. And at the end of the day, helping them the very best they can, but providing the tools they need to be successful in the job they do daily.
And that's amazing when you look at that from the team and the force and sort of your leadership style and the culture that you've built at the police department, and that's incredibly important. But beyond that, beyond the police station where you're responsible for the force and you're responsible for the operations, you are also responsible for the entire public in Miami Beach and public safety, and you're responsible for trust. And that's an interesting thing when you look at the relationship between the community and the police. And I think we have a great relationship in Miami Beach with our community and our police department, but how do you consistently balance sort of public safety interests with also just trust and having a great relationship with the resident and business community in Miami Beach?
I think that's the easy part, actually. And I think the residents of Miami Beach are so engaged and so involved. The businesses in Miami Beach are so engaged and so involved. Keeping trust, integrity in the policing, having people believe in what we do, having people partner in what we do, to me, all starts with personal relationships, right? For example, the Chamber hosts Coffee with a Cop on a regular basis.
Cafecito with a cop. We put a Miami twist on it.
Oh, the English
Miami
version,
Beach
English
twist.
version is Coffee with a Cop. So, by the way, this is really good coffee. This is really good coffee.
Yay, shout out to Maman. They have locations all across the county, but our favorite is Sunset Harbor.
Really good stuff. So, Cafecito with a
Cop.
I think is one of those events we have regularly. Bring out members from the community, bringing out people from other businesses, connecting with the police department, connecting with me personally, having the questions, concerns answered firsthand, and things we can't resolve there in the moment when we have these interactions, we resolve later on and continue that sort of connection with residents and business owners in our community. I think that's hugely important, quite frankly, because I can tell you, I really believe my police department is the best in the world at what we do, but we couldn't be as good as we are without those relationships.
Well, I think it's really important. What I've seen being in Miami Beach, for the past 2 years, with the Chamber and leading that organization, is that our community has really embraced our police department. Our businesses, our residents, like you said, they really embrace it. But I think it has a lot to do with the community feeling like they can do that. Like they are not intimidated by our police force. They see them as sort of partners, as sort of, comrades, if you will, in the city. They look to our police force as one that they can trust and be open with and feel safe and comfortable with. And that is a testament, again, I think, to your leadership and that culture that you've been able to establish, not only at the police station, but across the entire city. So congratulations to you on that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about your mission as chief. I know you've done a lot. We talked about the Real-Time Crime Intelligence Center. Did I say that right? Real-Time Intelligence Crime Center?
Yep. Perfect.
Those words in some sort of order. But talk to me about some other initiatives that you have in the pipeline, things that you have been able to accomplish and what you hope to accomplish during your tenure as chief, and what that mission really means to you.
Yeah. So beyond improving engagement in the community, partnering with residents, businesses, and community, beyond that, there's some internal things I think it's important to my police organization and, quite frankly, important to policing throughout the entire nation. I started an initiative called 30 by 30. Yeah.
That's the one I was hoping you would talk about. That's like one of my favorite. That's one of my favorite initiatives, and you guys will find out why. But that's the one I was hoping you would talk about. So yes,
incredibly proud of it, quite frankly. And that's the idea of by the year 2030 having 30% of my police department, sworn police officers, be women. It's the concept and idea that 30% of my staff, in terms of supervisors, senior leaders in the organization, be women by the year 2030. And when I first started down this path, our numbers are around 13%, which is around the national average. Today,
2 years ago?
Just beyond 2 years ago. I started before I became chief of police, pushing this initiative. But today it's almost 20%, and that number is growing. We're on track. We're on a path to get there, and I can tell you, I may not be the chief to see us accomplish the 30
You're going to be chief by 2030, chief,
we'll
but
see.
you're still going to be chief in 2030. We're just...
I don't know about that. But the point is, we're on a path to get there, and I think it's the right thing to do. I think we're a better police department as a result of it, and I'm really, really excited about it. I'm really proud of the women in my organization who have bought into it and helping us get there.
That's amazing. That's absolutely incredible. And we look forward to seeing that initiative accomplished. 2030, 30% of your sworn police officers will be female, and that's incredible. We're going to switch gears a little bit. We're going to talk about some of the philanthropic work that you guys do in the community and some of your community outreach and involvement. One of the biggest ones being with the Police Athletic League and their annual toy drive. Yeah. And again, I've had the privilege, the past 2 years, not only assisting with this event from, a fundraising perspective of like toy drives with the chamber, but actually physically being there the day of distribution, being in the homes with the families and truly seeing the smiles on these kids' faces and the difference that it can make. I mean, it's absolutely, it's so heartwarming. You will laugh, you will smile, you will cry, you'll go through all of the emotions, but you'll walk away feeling so blessed to have been able to do something like that alongside the police department. So tell me about what that means to you and why it's so important.
Yeah. I'm glad you've experienced that, actually. And I'm so proud of the fact that you and your board and chamber recognize the good that comes out of this sort of altruistic community event. It's uber important. I think sometimes people forget because Miami Beach, with all the glam and glitter, everyone's rich and living this fabulous life. But there's a population in our city that don't get to enjoy that fabulous, glitzy life. And the young children live in our city that don't have everything they need and want like some folks do. And these are kids, but for what we do with our annual toy drive, may not even get a gift. And so it's so heartwarming every December when we go out into the community and we give away thousands and thousands of toys. And thank you again in the chamber, because you guys do sort of like a mini toy drive to help us beef up our toys, the numbers of our toys so we can give these kids. But it's so heartwarming and it's so touching to see the smiles and these shining little faces of these kids when they get their toys. It's also heartwarming to see sometimes crying moms and dads.
The parents, yeah.
Because they get so emotional about it. And I can tell you there are times I've teared up, quite frankly, because I see in the faces of the little ones we give toys to, their happy little faces, I see the faces of my little kids. And I think, but for the grace of God, that could be me and my kids needing the help and support of the police department and community organizations and business organizations like the chamber. And so it's a great event. And it really is a great way to sort of start the holiday season. Looking forward to it.
We look forward to it every single year, and we are so grateful for the opportunity to partner with Miami Beach Police Department. Yes, and it's one of our favorite things to do too. So yes, it is quite. It's just touching, heartwarming, such a feel good thing. And speaking of feel good, right? I want to know whether it's your time as a police officer or any of the ranks and positions that you've held in your career or as chief, with the exception of the toy drive. What's been that feel good moment, or something that like you go home and a story that you share with your kids at the dinner table, like that touching moment that you're like, this is why I do what I do.
Yeah.
But don't make me cry.
No, I'm going to make you cry. Not something I would share with my kids. Listen, I've got many moments like that, many. But the one that stands out in my mind, many years ago, I was a lieutenant. I ran our human trafficking unit, and we rescued a young woman who had been shipped across state lines for the purposes of sex trafficking, and oversaw the reunification between her and her grandmother, who came from South Carolina to collect her here in Miami Beach. And it was just the most heartwarming thing, honestly. And it really sort of reminded me and my team at the time the reason we do what we do.
Yeah. This is why you do what you do, and it's so important to have those moments. And I can imagine that you guys have those moments quite frequently, because you are heroes in our community. And there is, listen, crime exists. It's there. It's bad. People are always going to be there, but we need to know and trust that we have the good people fighting for the rights. Always. And how long was she in that ring? Like, how long were they separated? If you don't mind me,
about 8 months.
Wow, almost a year. Yeah, that's incredible. That's absolutely incredible. Okay, we need to bring it back together. For someone who's young and they're watching this or they're thinking of pursuing a career in law enforcement, what advice or guidance would you give them?
Don't give up. It can be difficult, some days more difficult than others. But think about Chief Jones, someone who sort of fell into police work. And if Chief Jones can do it, there's nothing special about Chief Jones, by the way. If Chief Jones can do it, think to yourself, I can do it too. And I'm telling you, there is never going to be another career, anything else, nothing else you can ever do to give you satisfaction and the joy and excitement, if that's what you're looking for, than being a police officer. There's nothing else out there like it.
Well, I love everything that you just said, with the exception that I do think that you are quite special and that our city is very, very, very lucky to have you. I think I've had the privilege of working with a number of police chiefs throughout my very short career. But what I've always admired from you is your empathy and your heart and the way that is at the forefront of your leadership. And I think a lot of people in our city would agree with me. So thank you, Chief, for everything that you do. And I have my last question for you. So we've gotten the advice that you would give to someone who's just starting out in their career. What advice would you have given yourself when you were just starting out?
Oh, boy. This is idea of work-life balance, right?
Doesn't exist.
We
know that.
Yeah. Well, look, here's what I would give my younger self. You got to figure out a way to do the job you love to do, overdo it at times, but also try and balance that with time, friends, and family, right? I think my younger self spent too much time focused too heavily on the job, on the career, on the profession. And as a consequence of that, I lost friendships, right? Imagine, I'm calling you my friend, Brittnie. Hey, Brittnie, let's go have a drink. And every time I call you up, you're like, yeah, I'm busy, I'm working. Oh, Brittnie, it's my birthday today. Come by and have some barbecue at the house. I'm sorry, Wayne, it's my birthday. I'm working today. And it just goes on and on and on. After a while, I just stopped inviting Brittnie out.
Yep.
To hang out, right? And you lose friendships. I've lost a lot of friendships, sacrificed a lot of friendships over the years. Mm-hmm. And if I could do it all over again, it's got to be work-life balance. Mm-hmm. It's a challenge for most people. It certainly has been a challenge for me, my younger self. It's a challenge for me today.
Yeah, but I think you have the thing that's driving you, which is this beautiful family, and that drives you to really constantly look for that work-life balance too. So I think that's really important. And again, congratulations to you on everything that you've accomplished. And I can't wait to see you as police chief in 2030 when you accomplish your. I know. He's like, no, Britt, no, don't put that on camera. But it really truly is an honor to have you on and to have you lead our city and to lead our city's police force, which is a truly incredible feat. So thank you.
Well, thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
Absolutely. This has been another episode of Business Beyond the Beach with our partners here at Miami Community Newspapers. Thank you guys for tuning in. Again, another huge thank you to our coffee sponsor, Maman. Like I said, they have locations across Miami-Dade County, but our favorite is our Sunset Harbor location in South Beach. Thank you guys for watching, and stay tuned for another episode next week.